Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this latest all-new edition of the Milford Informer. Once again, I am Milford TV's Executive Director, Tim Coet. We continue to cruise right through these summer months. We're now into August, and we're back with our latest edition of the Informer for you. We've got a couple of top stories to bring you on the show this week. We begin with the incredible story of Bellingham resident Jay Rowe. If you have not had a chance to hear about Jay's story in the past, just incredible work that Jay has done down in Africa building the Children of Kilimanjaro Orphanage. This orphanage is about to get a big expansion, and so we had an opportunity to sit down again for a long chat with Jay to hear more about his story and all of that incredible work that he has been doing in Africa. So let's get to that piece for you right now. This week on the Milford Informer, we have a very special guest with us. You may have seen him on some of our Milford TV productions before. His name is Jay Rowe. He is the co-founder of Children of Kilimanjaro Orphanage. Jay, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Such a fascinating life story, Jay, and such an incredible amount of work that you have done to help children down in Africa. I want to get into all of it. And make sure to let people know how they can contribute to the efforts that you have undertaken down in Africa. But I really want to start from the very beginning, Jay. You have a really incredible sort of origin story for how this all started, and what maybe at first was just a simple trip, and it turned into probably a life-changing experience. Can you share with us that original trip?
Sure. So 2011, I had a 5.5-month solo backpacking trip. I'd planned it for years, but never had the time because I had a masonry business in Bellingham. Finally, 2010, 2011, the stars lined up. Arrived in Kenya. The main goal, see East Africa and climb Kilimanjaro. 3 weeks in Kenya, I'm at a little village, Mukuyu, a couple hours northeast of Nairobi. Young girl came in with a bunch of kids. Didn't know they were orphans. We started talking. She wanted to know what I was doing. I was working my way to Tanzania to climb Kilimanjaro. She said, I'm volunteering at an orphanage. Would you like to go? I'm like a kid from Bellingham growing up. Yeah, I'd like to go. Minute I got to the orphanage, 80 children there, 80 plus children. I noticed like 5 branches, perfect, 10, 12 feet off the ground. I'm like, wow, those would be nice rope swings. Got a couple of the other kids, asked them if there was a place we could get old tires and rope. Anyway, 5 hours later, we're back with 5 rope swings, and the children were just, it's like Disney World. So instead of staying for a few hours, which I honestly thought all it was going to be, I stayed for a month. While I was there for a month, I became privy to the amount of volunteers that were there, paying the amount of money they were paying, how busy the orphanage was in previous weeks with volunteers. We were having the same meal every day, 3 times a day. Makande, which is a staple East African dish. It's very good, but 3 times a day, every day. When I questioned the director, he was, well, we just don't have money. This is the most nutritious meal we can serve. I'd only been in Africa for 3 weeks. I don't know a whole lot yet. And then it was maybe 2 weeks later, it was right before Christmas, I asked him what he was going to do for little gifts or a dinner, and he said, oh, we don't have any money. And then I just brought up, since I'd been there, how much money he took in. He already wasn't happy with me for questioning about the meal, and I could tell the relationship was pretty fractured when I brought that up. But one of his staff members informed me that his money was going in his pocket, which explained to me, like, okay, that's why he's not. She'd let me know what his rent was, the food bill, and it's like it just didn't add up. While I was there, I emailed another orphanage in the Kilimanjaro region of Tanzania to say, I'm just finishing volunteering, helping out at this orphanage. I'd like to come visit yours because now I'm curious, like other orphanages. He said he was looking forward to meeting me and said he would have his associate, a friend of his, meet me at the airport. The person who met me at the airport was Yusuf Babu Masoya, who 9 years later became my partner in the Children of Kilimanjaro Orphanage, which is pretty incredible. I kept coming back to Africa now to help out with other orphanages with Babu, and sad as it is, most of them 80% anyway were keeping the money for themselves.
It's incredible to think about two individuals who had never met now suddenly working on two different continents to build this organization from the ground up. And I'm just curious to explore a little bit more of that relationship with Babu. What was it about when the two of you met that you had this sort of connection that would now last all of these years?
Babu's, he's a retired school teacher, Tanzania, very, very well educated, speaks very well. A great man. In his mosque, he's high up. He runs the leper program in Moshi. He's the most giving. He's the most giving of not just my friends in Tanzania, but even in the United States. So I knew he'd be the perfect person. And then he would refer to me as like, I knew you wouldn't give up. You know what I mean? The whole Marine Corps, and like you just pound. And it's been like that since we started. It's been an amazing journey, and the sadness is uncovering a lot of these orphanages. I compete, we're licensed, there's 140 licensed orphanages in Tanzania. Unfortunately, I compete with a lot of orphanages that bring in more money than we do, but they live in a cell phone or a computer. It's not even a real orphanage. They have a website. You can go take pictures of needy kids and get a good website. The woman in New Zealand that can't sleep sees all these beautiful kids, they need help, clicks on the donation. It's not going to an orphanage, it's going to someone's pocket. So the government, when they find out, you can't close a website down. So it's just the money's coming in. That's the sad part. Orphanage is a bad word throughout the world. When we close our eyes, you think of orphanage, we all have what we think of. Children of Kilimanjaro Orphanage, it's not like that. Very big on social media. I just got back Friday, a few days ago. I'm still kind of on Africa time. We've got 32 of the luckiest kids in the world. Those kids are so appreciative, and at 5 years old, they know the chance, the opportunity they have being in the family of Coco. And it's pretty amazing when you see a little girl or a little boy that may have been working 50, 60 hours a week. You look in their eyes and they look 90 years old. After 2 days at Coco, they're now a 5-year-old boy or a 5-year-old girl. Righty! Hey! 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 Oh! You know, and everybody wants to thank me and my partner, but it's the people all over the world that giving us, and we don't have corporate or wealthy donors. Kidogo in Swahili means a little. We have a lot of people all over the world giving us a little. Fortunately for us, we saved that little. We saved that little, and then eventually we're able to buy a piece of land and start work on our new home, which has been an amazing journey. But we like to say that Coco's made up of the children, the staff, and all of our donors all over the world, and that's our success.
And now is a good time to point out, you've probably seen it on your screen already, but we'll continue to put up the information on the screen for you to get involved and for you to donate. You can hear right now from Jay that little bit can make such a big difference. So you can follow the prompts on your screen. You can also go to www.helpcoco.org to find all of the information that you need to donate to the Children of Kilimanjaro Orphanage. So you mentioned, Jay, over 30 kids there right now.
We've got 32. We just brought Jamalia, who's 4, and Ivan, who's 5. We just brought them in March.
What are their lives like at Coco? What's sort of the day-to-day for the kids there?
They get up 5:30 in the morning with smiles on their faces, most of them. I know after 5 years who's grumpy, who's helps with the chores, who doesn't want to. They get up, they clean themselves up, put their school clothes on, come out, have breakfast. We have a bus that picks them up, takes them to school. When they come out of school, it's bath time. After bath, they'll have lunch or a late lunch. Then they have school at Cocoa. All the children at Cocoa are in the top 10% of their classes, and it's not what they're learning in public school. You could have one student with, you could have 80 students with one teacher. So it's the 5 hours they're getting back at Cocoa with our teachers, why they're in the top 10% of their class. We have dinner after class is over, which is by 7:30 at night. They'll eat, and then it's playtime. And then bedtime, 10 o'clock, sometimes 10:30, but you can still hear some of the boys goofing off in their rooms. The kids here sleep a lot more than the children at the orphanage. But that's how it is in East Africa, not just the orphanage. We eat late. We eat much later. 8 o'clock, 8:30 would be standard time to eat, sometimes 9 o'clock. It's just the way that it is in East Africa.
But overall, the quality of life that the kids have at Cocoa is very unique.
They're exposed. We have a lot of guests and we have volunteers. So I just got back after a little over 3 weeks. We probably had 100 visitors from all over the world. Doctors, nurses, teachers that come into Tanzania, the Kilimanjaro region, to volunteer at schools and clinics. And then my partner and I have plastered Moshi with flyers, come sing, dance, and play at the Children of Kilimanjaro Orphanage. So every day they're coming, bringing food items, medical supplies, playing with the kids. So the staff gets to meet people from all over the world, and the children get to meet friends. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. When you come into the orphanage, you can tell it's something different. It's special. Definitely special. And then those people that visit us, they go home and tell their friends. And that's what makes it work. It's like the more people that know about Cocoa and the work we're doing, the better it is for us.
So in a lot of ways, it's becoming sort of a cultural hub for that whole region.
Yeah. I mean, we're the third in the country now out of 140. We're only 5 years old. And then to be building, we're 2 weeks away from our new orphanage to be completed. I've never seen in all my years going to East Africa, I've never seen anything like what we're finishing building.
Tell us a little bit more about it. What will this do to improve upon the facility that you have now?
So when we first opened up, we opened up with 5 children and 2 staff members. But we knew that if money came in, we wanted to grow. So when we first looked for where we're going to call our home, you have to anticipate, I think we may have said, maybe if we have money, 30 kids. So what are you going to find? What are you going to find for that? So we ended up renting an old hotel, single floor hotel, surrounded by a big wall, 9 feet high. And inside the walls were, think of 2 ranch houses, each with 8 rooms and full bath because it was a hotel. And then in the middle of those, a separate building that houses the kitchen. So when we walked in, it was like, wow, this could work for us. And it did. But we had a lease, and the authorities, when the children get older, they need to be in their own bed. Right now, we could have a stack of bunk beds here, and all the children in the boys' room are sleeping in that one because they're comfortable being together. But as they get older, they need to have their own bed. So now that room with 2 stacks of bunk beds is only 4 kids. We knew we didn't have the room. So we debated, can we try to find something else to rent? That's tough. Trying to find, and then all the staff we have. That's when we realized in 2023 we should start looking for land. And, it was a typical nightmare. Guy from Massachusetts, a white man in Africa trying to find land, but after looking at enough pieces, we found what we believe we couldn't have got a better piece. So our old orphanage is in the foothills of Mount Kilimanjaro. We're on Mount Kilimanjaro now. It's a different climate. It's the Garden of Eden. It's green. We just planted 50 coffee trees. It's amazing. It's amazing that the people all around us, who wouldn't want to have an orphanage? Because now we'll be helping the children in that village. So it's been amazing. It's been a process, the building and everything, but it's been amazing for us. It's like I still pinch myself that we're a success, let alone building an orphanage that politicians and the authorities have never seen. It's just, you're coming up the road and there's big letters on the building, Coco. And you can see it before you even get there. It's pretty cool.
It's such an amazing story, and to think that this all came from. At the time, did you think that, well, this will be a great one-time opportunity for me, perhaps to visit Africa, to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, and now all these years later, the amount of time that you've spent there, could you have imagined that at the time of that first trip?
I never had any. So prior to this, I was traveling all over the world climbing mountains. That's what my hobby was. I never thought of orphans or orphanages, and if that girl never came by that outdoor coffee shop and saw me, I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't have met Babu. I would have been back to Africa because it's just too big of a continent to go one time. And I still, 5 years later, and I don't know, 40 trips, I still don't feel like I know a lot of even East Africa. But no, if she never would have walked into the coffee shop, it just wasn't on my radar. But because my mother was always giving and giving to all these, I was curious, and I wanted to know, like, there are some good ones, but far and few. An orphanage can get you rich. The last orphanage that we helped out at that pushed us, he was a peasant. He was a peasant. Now he owns a hotel and a safari business. And another little funny story, that last orphanage, the children were clean, dirty clothes, but clean themselves. I made a comment to Babu, the woman that was the chief matron at that bad orphanage, the worst we'd ever seen. I made a comment like, we need to, when it came time for employees, we need to find someone like her. He called me up. I left a few weeks later. I'm back home here. He called me up and said, we just got our first employee. It's Gudila. He told her, and she saw, the Mzungu, which is what they call a white man. She saw the Mzungu come in there, and we bought mattresses, we bought food. So she wanted to be, she came with us. She's still with us. Spoke no English. The day we opened up Coco, we had 3 English speaking and 6 non-English speaking staff. I explained to him that there's no future at Coco unless you learn English. We started bringing in a college professor 2.5 years ago, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. My whole staff speaks English.
That's incredible.
So their lives, they're raising their families, and they're having, the Children of Kilimanjaro Orphanage, it's the people we purchase from, food items and bus drivers to take the kids on field trips. There's a lot of people that are part of that are raising their families now because of the children. And now at the new place, it will be just like that in that area.
Yeah, so many lives touched by the work that you're doing. It's a really special thing, and I feel like we buried the lead here a little bit. You mentioned earlier a lot of these other orphanages, maybe 20% was going towards the kids. What is that percentage at Coco?
Well, it's 100. It's 100%.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you look at what we're finishing building, I want corporate money. My phone goes off when we get a donation. We feed the whole orphanage $23 a day, 3 nutritious meals, 32 kids and 9 staff members. So when my phone goes off and it's a $10 donation, I'm still happy. I'll never lose that. But do I want it to be 10,000 one day? Do I want Adidas to give us tracksuits? We wear these knockoff Chinese tracksuits, Adidas. I want all that, but we're only 5 years old. And what we've done in 5 years is it's mind-blowing. And that's even to the politicians and the authorities in Tanzania. They don't, so when you're licensed, you're inspected. The authorities can come in, 24/7 and inspect. They're looking to see if the kids have welts on them, are they bruised, malnutrition, do they have any disease. The woman, when we opened, that used to come in random to inspect us, they're social workers, she left her job and came to work for us as our head social worker. She saw the beginning stages and was like, I want to be a part of this. She knew that we were going to go up, and that made us feel really good. And now when the authorities come in, they're our friends. They know, and they'll say, I wish it was like this all the way around. And I remember when, at the beginning, we're building our new orphanage now, but I remember when I would send money to Babu, and we had $200 left over. I remember when I sent money in and we had 500. I remember when we hit 1,000. I remember calling them up and saying, I just sent you in money. We have 5,000 in the bank. This is like mind-blowing for us. And then to have the money to buy the land, we couldn't do anything after we bought the land because we were broke. And then save up, now we're getting the wall put up. Couldn't do anything after the wall was put up. We had enough money to pay our bills. And then little by little, donations and pounding the ground, and the people all over the world believing in us, giving us a little. We kept saving up that little because now we had no more purchases to make. The money coming in could just stay in the bank. And next thing you know, it's meeting with the builder. I had taken a sketch at another coffee shop with Babu, like fantasizing if we could build an orphanage. And I sketched it out. What we're building is 90% of that sketch.
That's
so
amazing.
I'm even like, whoa, my design carried over to when I look at Coco, I'm like, I remember putting that and I remember doing that. So it's I knew just what we needed. And now I can't wait until we're moved in there.
This is such an incredible story. I feel like we could use more stories like this in the world today. Just seeing all of the kids whose lives you've touched, all of the people throughout that region whose lives that you've touched and you've improved through these endeavors, and it's a really inspiring story. And once again, just that little bit with each donation, is going to go to a worthy cause and is going to have real impact on real people's lives. So we certainly encourage everyone out there to get involved, to donate to Coco. You can go to www.helpcoco.org, and you can learn even more details about the origin story. It's just such a fascinating story. You can see photos, and there's all kinds of ways that you can get involved and donate there. Well, Jay, we really appreciate you sitting down, sharing the story. We can't wait to hear about the new facility once it's officially open, and we hope to have you back sometime in the future. We'd love to hear some updates on the project. But in the meantime, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing the story, and just keep up this incredible work.
Thank you. Oh, we definitely will. We still have a lot to do, a lot more children to help.
Such an incredible story. We're so appreciative for Jay for joining us on the Milford Informer. And the Children of Kilimanjaro Orphanage is about to have their 4th annual fundraiser over at Southwick Zoo. That is coming up on August 9th. You can purchase tickets to that event now. You can follow the QR code on your screen. All kinds of great stuff on tap for this fundraiser, including live entertainment, some delicious food, access to all of the great facilities over at Southwick. So make sure that you buy your tickets now. And again, all of those proceeds will go to a very worthy cause. Moving on to our next top story now. Of course, the big story in Milford this entire summer has been the traffic pains related to the Central Street Bridge project that has been going on now since the very beginning of June. And if you have not seen this investigative reporting on the internet over the last couple of weeks, we turned to an outside source, a special correspondent, Cody Crawford, to bring his own unique take and his own unique journalistic skills to maybe take a little bit of a humorous approach to the story that has taken the Milford community by storm. Let's take a look.
In the town of Milford, Massachusetts, a traffic crisis has occurred. Slow-moving, bottlenecks, pain, and suffering. Over-exaggerated news host Cody Crawford investigates now.
The town of Milford has always had its fair share of traffic issues. But since the closure of this mysterious bridge, traffic has been absolutely horrendous. Town hall flooded with letters, community pages filled with complaints, with no end in sight. Today I'm gonna hit the town, view the traffic myself, try to get some answers from town hall, and go locate this mysterious bridge.
Before you make the turn onto Dilla Street, you're already in a line. Then the traffic keeps growing and growing and growing until you're stuck at a light that never changes. This puppy just wants to go take a nap. We circled to the other side of town, where we found another roadblock at Midway in East Main, where cars kept piling in to an endless line of sorrow, agony, and a depression even local doctors can't describe. The unstoppable buildup of cars, SUVs, and trucks produced a line of vehicles so far it exceeded the capabilities of a human eye. And the strain of the stop and go led to this van giving up on life, stranding a family at the AutoZone parking lot. We were forced to pull a U-turn where we entered the Cedar Fortune and Dilla Matrix, with traffic even appearing in my mirrors. Nothing could be done. Our route downtown was blocked, our path to a Frosty and Baconator impossible, a line of traffic that measured the distance of the Sahara Desert. We finally made it downtown, but the horror was just beginning. We found a road acting as a parking lot where everyone was getting nowhere in a hurry. It was finally time to demand answers at City Hall. I walked up the stairs, I knocked, I waited, and no one answered. It was time to go find the bridge. And there it was. The quiet, the sadness, the destruction. A scene from a Terminator movie.
I'm here standing outside the source of all of our traffic pain in Milford, the Central Street Bridge, which has been torn down for improvements and causing bottlenecks for months. Some people say it will open in September, some say October, some say November. Unfortunately, we'll never know. But what we do know is as long as this bridge stays closed, when you leave for breakfast, you won't get home till dinner. For over-exaggerated news reports, I'm your host, Cody Crawford.
Very funny stuff from Cody Crawford. We appreciate him allowing us to share that piece with you on the Milford Informer, and perhaps the first of more to come with collaborations with Cody with his own unique take on stories here in the greater Milford area. Well, as we start to wind down on this month's edition of the Milford Informer, we want to once again point you out to a lot of great content that we have been sharing here on our channel and on YouTube as well, including our entirety of the 2025 season for Milford Legion Baseball. All the games we covered this past season are now available for streaming on YouTube. They're also airing on our educational channel and on our Verizon High Definition channel. And of course, you can also check out our coverage of Claflin Hill's Family Night at the Bandstand. We're about halfway through the concert season, and many of those concerts are already available for viewing on YouTube. We'll have those available on our public and our Verizon High Definition channels as well as the rest of this summer rolls along. So make sure you check out those concerts in person over at Town Park. And if you happen to miss any or you want to relive the fun, you can check them out here across our Milford TV platforms. Chase Pettinelli, our Milford TV producer, doing excellent work bringing you coverage of all of those concerts. Well, that is going to wrap things up for this edition of the Milford Informer. As always, we thank you so much for tuning in. And from all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.